So Pete, now it's your turn. I want to hear a little bit about you. You're my Pete the peptide guy, but what got you into peptides?
Uh, what got me into peptides was a partially torn Achilles tendon. I went to a doc for 4 months, did the plastic boots, $2,000 in copays, and I was still in pain. He kept telling me the things I was never going to do again. And I was like, that doesn't kind of sound right to me. Like, never? I was like, I've been an athlete my whole life. What do you mean I'm never going to run again? I'm never going to do this again.
Not taking no for an answer.
Exactly. I'm not taking no. So I wound up finding the peptide world. And I took BPC 157 for 2 months and healed my Achilles tendon.
Wow.
And at that point, I was also insulin resistant. I'm only 5'9", but I was 235.
Wow. I
And
can't imagine that.
I know, me neither. I just thought I was going to be this thick, short guy for the rest of my life. And I wound up taking tirzepatide and I lost 45 pounds in 4.5 months.
Wow.
And have been there ever since. And just dove in. And I was like, this is where I need to be, because in the 30 plus years in fitness, I was able to help so many people do so many things, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
Right. And it takes that discipline and it takes that just constant, just drive that you have to have. I've been lucky enough to train some amazing people, from the cutest 5-year-old little T-ballers to a woman who just wanted to lift a turkey out for her last dinner at her house of grandma,
Yeah.
And I love that career. It helps me with this career because I can really help people in the exercise part. But the peptides are just such game changers, and like almost immediately, the responses that I get, the feedback from people, the messages that I get randomly because they're on the East Coast and they're sending me a message and like, oh my God, I don't know what time you're up. And it's like 5 a.m. My phone's going off, and they're like, I really need your help. And I helped them one quick question and they're like, oh my God, you saved my life. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I just had a question. Like, no, you don't have no idea. I would have drove it, It just goes on and on. It's just it's such a rewarding feeling to be able to help another human being.
Yeah.
And I mean, in your practice, you get to do that more than I do, hands on. And it means that much to me.
It's a team.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from you. You learned these peptides, but even I have learned from you, Pete.
I'm always blown away when somebody of your caliber says that to me, because I just feel like I still know this much in an industry this big. Because I think that if you constantly educating yourself and learning, there's just so many new things that you're going to find out that these peptides really can help you with.
Yeah.
That you don't have to go down that rabbit hole that some doctor's telling you that you really actually don't even like, you know what I mean? Or some medical professional that you don't even really trust, that there are people like you out there. And one of my jobs is to navigate that for them and basically say is, okay, here, I'm not the medical professional, but I got her. You know what I mean? Go see her because she's great. And to have that advantage is so, so huge for me, but it also gives me more drive to say, okay, who else can I help? Yeah. I'm the constant card giver. Like, I give my cards out everywhere.
And you personally use these. You said you
Oh, yeah.
lost weight, you healed. What else have you used? I know you said like one doc was surprised because they're like, how are you recovering so fast?
Yeah, that's so in a span of about 10 months, I had an ALIF surgery. And for those who don't know that, it's called an anterior lumbar interbody fusion. So I had 3 discs taken out of my lower back and replaced. And then literally 7 months later, I had an ADR. And they took 2 discs out of my neck and replaced them.
Wow.
With my healing peptides, my doc over at Bauer Brain and Spine was like, I've never seen anybody heal as fast as you. Even to the point where today, a little over 5 months, you can't see the scar on my neck from the ADR surgery. And I keloid bad. It was like a caterpillar was sitting on my throat. And I was like, I'm going to have to explain this knife fight forever. I was like, and now I tell people I had it and they're like, no, you didn't.
How long had you been using peptides before these surgeries?
For probably about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Mostly the Wolverine stack, as they call it now, the BPC TB500 to recover from working out.
Yeah.
Then I got into the secretagogues, just for training aspects and putting muscle on. And once I had lost that weight, just to work out again. Being 54, I'm not 30, I'm not 25. So, I don't feel 54. I love where I'm at, and I know that I can get better and better as I go. Now, the bigger deal for me is mitochondrial function.
Yeah.
And I was speaking about this a year ago. I was telling people online, I was saying, you're going to hear a lot about this, because if you don't start at the cellular level, everything else is just kind of like you're spinning your wheels in the mud.
Yeah.
Like, you got to solve the problem here and fix that. And then when you fix that energy source, then the rest can start piling on top.
Sure. We do a lot of peptides for weight management, building muscle, healing. What about the brain?
So it's interesting because I was just thinking about that too. Is like I love CMAX.
Yeah.
CMAX for me, I'm already driven and focused person. So when I get in my zone, I'm locked in. I can't believe how even more locked in I become. But even after doing it for a month, and now the signals are just popping.
Yeah.
And it's just like seeing the room in slow motion. It's phenomenal,
Yeah.
there's another one too, cerebrolysine. That's amazing. And it is phenomenal for that cognition aspect and
Mhm.
basically rewiring your brain. I played soccer my whole life, so I've had my handful of concussions and,
Yeah.
definitely have felt that as I got older from here and there. But with these ones for memory, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
The cognition aspect is just off the chain.
I know for me, one of my biggest fears is losing my brain. I've put too much work into it, and I want to be like healthy, and then suddenly one day, just crazy little lady,
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I was.
Don't want to lose my brain.
My family has a thing by always saying you ain't right, and I'm like, well, that's because I'm from the South Bronx. We're from New York. We ain't right. But I actually had an MRI done when I was in the hospital, and they did a scan of my brain to make sure nothing else was going on. And you know, my family got the report that hey, you know what, his brain's fully functional.
Perfect. We
It's
say hard
perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
evidence right
I still ain't
here.
right though, but it's just I'm not physically wrong, so we're good there. Yeah, absolutely.
So, in some of our testing, we do like an ApoE. And if you have the two alleles for E4, you're really high risk for late onset Alzheimer's. Is that something you guys have addressed with your company? I know there's a stack of peptides that I use and some anti inflammatories.
Yeah, I think the biggest studies have been with epitalon,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the biggest ones out there. It's one of those weird peptides. Everybody wants to feel something, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't feel it. I'm like, okay, this isn't one of those.
Right.
This is if you are fearful or you have the trigger or you have that precursor down the road and you've seen a professional and said, yeah, if your mom and dad had it, chances are you can have it. If you want the probability to offset something like that, then yeah, epitalon once or twice a year.
Yeah.
It's why not? It's only going to help.
Yeah.
It's only going to help. I mean, again, these peptides, like you said before, they're naturally found in our bodies, and I look at these as you have a much better, beautiful medical way of saying it. I just call them signalers that just turn on the dim switches.
Yeah.
Your body's the cells go dim at some point, and then these come in and they go boom, bright light, and they kick it up, and then you're back to where you were before, and your body's working optimally again.
How amazing that we live in a time where we can do this and like find where our risks are and help mitigate that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's extraordinary. I'm still floored thinking about what we used to have and all the supplements that I used to buy.
yeah.
And I think I estimated probably close to $250,000 in supplements that never worked
Wow.
in my life since I was 14. And it was just like one of those things. And I'm like, none of them worked. I was like, but peptides work.
Yeah.
Like they just do. Can't really explain it other than the function that they do is what they do.
That being said,
Yeah.
have you seen some people that try and go cheap and buy online or peptides that aren't quality?
Yeah.
What are the dangers there?
So actually one of the biggest dangers, and it's interesting because I get a lot of professionals like yourself ask, and when they say, sourcing peptides, it's not just where you source them from. It's not that you're just getting them third party tested. It's where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So ones that are synthesized in a lab aren't from animals. And people don't realize that people are using animals to synthesize peptides and then
Mm.
selling those. There's a lot of complications that come along with that, if you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
So having an animal product in you that you have no idea where it came from, where it's sourced from, that's really, you're playing Russian roulette with your health and you're injecting. A while ago, when I first got in this industry, a very smart person, smarter than me, said to me, cheap medicine is cheap
Yeah.
and cheap peptides are cheap. So it's really not worth it if you're gonna take something and you're gonna inject it in your body and you're really serious about optimizing your health and longevity in this health span that we always talk about and we thrive in.
Yeah.
Then work with a professional medical professional. You can start with me with the conversation and I'm just gonna hand you off. I'm
Yeah.
just the middleman here. But I think that's where we really come into play.
I think that's so important. We had a patient that was sourcing them offline, and I actually asked her to do a heavy metal testing, and her lead levels were through the roof. And it was the peptide where she was getting it. So we had to do chelation, get rid of that lead, and then restart her on a plan. And now she's a new person. But
Yeah,
be careful about these peptides. It's not, these are, when sourced correctly, amazing tools. But
absolutely.
I love how you put it.
Y-
Cheap medicine
It's
is cheap.
cheap. Yeah, this really is. Yeah.
So, yeah,
And not, again, not worth that $10,000 ER bill.
no.
So definitely not.
I worked ER. I've
So
seen those
yeah, you
bills.
have.
So I am so glad to have met you. Is there anything else that you would just like to share about your journey?
Um, I'm fortunate to be where I'm at. I'm fortunate to work with a company of individuals that literally care. It's not a transactional thing. We're not here to stroke egos. We're not here to say we're better than everybody else. But what we do is we put the best product out there because we really care,
Yeah.
and we're hell bent on that. And that's something to be really proud of, and you can hang your hat on every day. So I go to bed at night feeling comfortable where I'm at, who I work with, including medical professionals like yourself, because I only want to work with the best and I only want to give you the best. So if I can do that every day, I sleep like a baby
Yeah.
and I don't have to worry about it. And I know that the people that you're servicing are getting great results because of what I'm able to do. And that's huge.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank
Ready
you,
for that
Doc.
arm wrestling now?
Definitely not.